Film Club.
Start.
Thank you very much for joining us in an episode of Film Club. I am one, your host, Andy Harrison. To my right, as always, it's the tumultuous
There, that thing.
Andy Donaldson.
Right, and we are not doing an intro. I do apologise, because England versus Tunisia tonight, and I want to get home so I can watch the match.
And he couldn't for the life of him think of an intro with that.
I couldn't think of any intro. I am happy, though, because I was just explaining to you, I predicted the score of the Belgian game, 3-0. Lukaku got a brace. Meunier, if that's how you pronounce his name, got a clean sheet. Hazard got an assist. My fucking fantasy team is smashing it. My scorecast is smashing it. I want to win more money because I already got the fucking double for the fantasy league.
Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to watch a film with us. We dive into some cinema's best by coming back here to talk it out and also bring you apparently the update on current World Cup football nonsense. Andy, what have we been watching this week?
Sicario, that's almost as exciting as my fantasy prospects.
I don't want to know about your fantasy prospects.
Honestly, I'm fucking class. So,
what is Sicario about?
Sicario is about, like, it starts with a woman who works at the FBI, and she works on, it's not narcotics, it's kidnapping. Goes to this house, and she ends up leading this investigation, and it's pretty gruesome. And then they have it, like, the higher ups are like, oh, you'd be perfect for this job, where you have to kind of, it's a bit under the book sort of thing. And then he introduces Josh, so it's, what's her name? It's Emily Blunt, isn't it? Emily Blunt, who does a really good American accent, by the way. You know, she's British. And then Josh Brolin comes into the thing, and Benicio del Toro comes in, and then it's them two kind of mysterious, what the fuck they're doing, what we're actually doing here sort of thing. And they go to Mexico, they pick up a guy, and there's a little shootout, and they go back, and there's all this, like, more, like, kind of not deception, but mystery behind it. And then it turns out that Benicio del Toro is a Colombian, more or less a hitman, who works for the mafia. And she basically gets into a lot of fucking shit, and it's, fuck me. What do you think? You haven't seen this film?
I hadn't seen this film before. So anybody who's not sure, the film's directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve. I didn't want to mispronounce his name.
Now, my introduction to Denis Villeneuve was Arrival.
Have you not seen Prisoners as well?
Very, very recent. No. I saw Arrival. Then straight after that, saw Blade Runner 2049. Like, I loved Arrival. Like, I think Blade Runner 2049 is fantastic.
Yep.
And then everyone was saying you have to see Sicario. Everyone was saying, like, Sicario is awesome. It's this great film. I enjoyed it.
What, really?
Yeah, like, I enjoy it. I understand what it's doing. There's just
I thought you'd be all over this.
No, there's certain elements about this film which I understand it's a very well put together film.
I actually have notes.
It's not my sort of film.
Okay.
And part of that is just the narrative it's doing, the aesthetic choices, and the way it colours itself. Like, I love that this film is making a commentary on contemporary war. It's making a commentary on how we approach the war on, I guess in this case, it's drug cartels, Mexican drug cartels. But I mean, it's the same things applicable to the war on terror.
Yeah, but you could argue the cartels in themselves are terrorists.
Yeah. So I love the way it approaches this with this idea of people who become corrupt, and is that corruption worth it?
Yeah.
But that's kind of the question this whole film poses, is like, when
lesser
Emily
of
Blunt
evils.
corrupts her morals, was it worth it? When Benicio del Toro corrupts his moral compass, was that worth it? And the film kind of suggests that no, it wasn't. But it's the idea of, rather than a film presenting character growth, this film instead presents characters' regression. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So rather than going on it's almost like rather than going on like a typical arc to end somewhere better, these characters instead
You just go, ooh.
Yeah, they go on a character slump.
Of like, fuck me, what have I done with myself?
And everything they do along that journey is very well done. Like this film, although I wasn't completely taken by it, it did nothing but bolster my already quite high standards for Denis Villeneuve. I think he's a great director.
I think he's fantastic.
And this film he brought it to life. The script isn't anything particularly special. It's got some nice moments to it, but he brings it alive. It's Denis Villeneuve that brought this film live, along with the cast.
Yes. What I love about this film, we're still on that, is just the whole theme of it, is I was fucking gripped in pure suspense for pretty much the majority of the film. The pacing of it, the use of the music on the way, the use of the long shots like that when they're going to Mexico, and you feel like the person's there, the camera's, it's not always still, it's always like kind of moving. You're in a car and it's moving, you see the cars always moving, like that scene when they're going across.
Well,
it's fucking fantastic.
Well, if you want to talk about the cinematography, my friend,
I'll fucking text you the cinematographer.
because this is, everyone should know, if there's one cinematographer you know in your life, it's Roger Deakins, right?
Is it Roger Deakins that worked on WALL-E?
Yeah, Roger Deakins, he helped craft that opening sequence in WALL-E. But moreover, Roger Deakins has worked with like the Coen brothers. Yeah. Roger Deakins worked with Denis Villeneuve on Blade Runner. He did like some, I can't remember which Bond film he did. Skyfall.
Oh, that's a great film.
Is arguably the best looking. Like he's the cinematographer. There's one cinematographer people know.
He recently finally got his Academy Award, didn't he?
Yeah, so like kind of notoriously recently,
years of not getting one.
He hadn't got an Oscar, and then he finally got one for Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Great cinematographer. And he's one of the best cinematographers for the reasons of he understands what cinematography is. It's there to serve a story. It's not there to constantly look pretty all the time. Instead, you can look at a Roger Deakins film and you don't really notice cinematography for big chunks of it because it's so subtle.
Yeah.
It's just so natural. And that's what he's so good at. And here, it's amazing. I love seeing him work in the shadows. Like
there's parts of this film that's very dark.
Very dark.
That great scene towards the end where in the tunnels and use the night vision and the thermal vision. Again, the sound complements it exceptionally well. He's fucking done well. I think my favourite shots are like the bird sound, that start scene where the car's going across. Again, the use of sound, the use of music, the use of sound going in, but then you just boom, 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 boom. Then the next shot, these cars going across, they're on a mission. They're fucking picking up the pace. The shots going down like that where they are. It's almost like looking at a map and stuff like that. It gets you in the film and you're all there at the start. Well, the intro scene gets you in the fucking film. Jesus Christ, that's intense.
That whole intro, I think that was the high point for me in that entire film.
Really?
Either that intro sequence where like they discover the bodies and stuff, that's just like, holy shit. Like at that point I was like in. Either that or later on where they're on the highway. And they
that's
take
fucking
out
amazing.
That cars of people.
That is insane.
That's great. And again, Roger Deakins does this great job of bringing a sort of an understanding of scale to it, but then boiling it back down to the character.
Yeah.
It's great.
We'll go on to access in a bit. I just want to mention about the music, because the music in this film is fucking sensational. He actually won an award, and the bloke who did it, whose name I'll get you in a second, he actually passed away earlier this year in February. No. I did not know. He's 49, right? The bloke, the lovely guy, is called Johan Johansson. Lovely name, from Iceland. Reykjavik, however you pronounce it.
Name.
Johan Johansson. He worked on, I can't remember the film he worked on, and he immediately let's go on about that intro scene or something about the cars going across. So what you have is this really good interpretation of it. I'm sure you might play it along, like sometimes you do, and he goes like, and he goes, and he just repeats that and that. And
where does that happen?
It's at the start where the car's going across. You'll hear it when you listen again. Okay. And the car's going across, and you just have this dread, this horror. Is just like, fuck, something's going to happen. Because those are the kind of like low-pitched draws that go down in pitch, aren't particularly, not enjoyable, but they aren't particularly there to be, oh, this is exciting sort of thing. It's not. It's meant to be like, shit's going to fucking go down. The pacing of Deakins' cinematography is telling you shit's going to go down, and shit has gone down. And it's stuff like that as well. Use of contemporary, but also like kind of very traditional, classic kind of suspense and not horror elements, but the distant strings at the top, the low, as mentioned, the low drones and stuff like that.
I'd say, maybe there is a little bit of a horror element in that, especially again,
absolutely, the Mexico and stuff.
That opening sequence again. There's a point where you think, "Am I watching a horror film?"
People are so used to horror films nowadays, where it's just like, oh, it's some sort of paranormal creature, oh, it's something to do with a witch or something. It's
a high screech, a silence, and then a
I mean? And it's just like jump scares. This does not do jump scares. What this fucking does, and it does it amazingly, is just build up that fucking dread before you go. And I was thinking,
in a really subtle way, but like to the point that they really know when to step off of it as well, and just have long sequences without any music.
There's some amazing parts of like almost like it's disjointed, it's chaotic, like industrial kind of percussion metal, and it just makes you feel like this is fucked up. It's really well done. It's really well done. Let's jump onto the acting, because the acting was fucking phenomenal.
Arguably, even though the music's amazing, cinematography's stunning, arguably the best thing about the film is still the performances, because one, you've got right at the front Emily Blunt, who just kills it.
She absolutely fucking nails it. And for someone to go from, I used to have this, I always remember her, and I always will, from The Devil Wears Prada. She's fantastic in that. Great film, by the way. It's actually like, I fucking love that film.
My sister used to watch that to death.
Honestly, mate, it's such a good film. Anyway, point is, she's always like, she's a bit like pompous. She's got the very rich things. She's like, oh, no, fashion, all this. Then suddenly you fucking get Emily Blunt nowadays, where you get Sicario, you get, what is it, Edge of Tomorrow. Have you seen Edge of Tomorrow?
No,
it's a fucking great film. Honestly, I was a bit Tom Cruise, like sci-fi. It's fucking
She's
great.
in Hell or High Water.
No, my mate told me, Martin from work, he's told me to watch that. He said it's fantastic.
Same writer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the guy who wrote this has written 3 films. This, Hell and High Water, and something that takes place in the snow with Jeremy Renner.
Well played. That was a good memory. Good memory.
That's the title of it.
Is it? Well, it's absolutely fantastic. So you got Emily Blunt, who just kills it. How serious she does it. How she does those scenes and she like lets her guard down. She's like straight on like this throughout the whole film. She lets her guard down. Then there's that fucking scene with Shane from Walking Dead, who like he tries to kill her and stuff like that. And then she's like comes back after and like the bridge.
Punisher as well.
Yeah, the Punisher. Yeah. Sorry, I should really said that. The Punisher. By the way, who's fucking like that is cast so well. He plays a really good antagonist, but he also plays a really good what's the
anti-hero.
Word? Anti-hero is the word I was looking at. Thank you. But then you have like, what the fuck are we doing when they're on the bridge and stuff like that? Emily Blunt just fucking nails it.
Yep. And then right at the end when she's just broken and completely
I know it's
done.
Fucking insane. Great. It's insane. And then to counter that, you obviously got Benicio del Toro.
Yep.
Who is just like imposing. My favorite fucking scenes with him are the ones where, he gets a guy in a car and he's like just fucking leaning down like this. You don't mess with him. He's a big hulking guy. This is the same Benicio del Toro does a collector in Marvel. He did fucking in Usual Suspects,
he was in Star Wars.
Yeah.
He was in
Star Wars.
Not the most recent Star Wars.
Last Jedi, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. He was in that. And so this is that Benicio del Toro. Fantastic. It's fucking imposing, hulking presence. And there's that moment where there's that guy in a chair just before they torture him. And he just, I think it's amazing. All he does is one of the most, he just stands in that guy. And it reminds, it sounds daft. It reminds me, you get like, towards an animal or something, you just show your presence.
It's a very animalistic thing where he steps right in front of him.
Just, like, this guy's like this and doesn't dare look up because he knows exactly who Del Toro's character is. What's his name? Alejandro, sorry, thank you.
Alejandro.
Oh, God. And he does that so well, and it's just like that power. He says, don't ever fucking point a gun at me, which is amazing because at the end she does. And it just shows that she's like kind of over it and stuff like that. How they do that both themselves and like the kind of like the opposites one, like in terms of moral compass, but also very straightforward, is fantastic. And obviously they've got that end scene where he comes and finds that guy, the family, fuck me. But so you got them two kind of counter each other in a terms of almost like a rivalry. But then you got Josh Brolin who plays like the laid back, he wears sandals and everything.
I love Josh Brolin in this.
But what I love about that is it's so misleading. Again, the mystery behind it all is the fact that this guy is so cool and chilled out when the guy's about to be tortured. He's just laid down like, yeah, whatever. This guy is fucking right in the deep of it all, and yet he's so casual with it. Going back on your original point is like, is it actually okay to be this corrupt yourself? We don't know. We'll not really look at.
Well, I love that Josh Brolin seems to be the one who's most okay with all of this. And it's very clearly because throughout this entire film, you never see him get his hands dirty.
Exactly.
He always gets somebody else to do it.
He's like the puppet master. He
orchestrates it all. Absolutely is the puppet master of this whole thing.
But it's fucking like, even then, it's just, you still don't trust him at all. You don't know if he does work for the cartel. You don't know if he works for the government under like secret rap sort of thing, like a CIA special agent who's, point is, he's fucking.
And then all the, I'd be remiss not to mention one of my favorite characters in the film, which is the Mexican police officer that we keep cutting over to.
Oh yeah, is that the one where is that the guy with the family?
Yeah.
Oh, I never put two and two together. I thought the one with the family was the one where they capture him at the end. The one waiting for him to come over does the accounts. I never thought it was the police officer.
Yeah, because what happens is when we first get introduced to him at the beginning.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
It's introduced in this really sort of lovely way of like tricking the audience not to judge a book by its cover. He kind of looks like he obviously we see him in Mexico. He's clearly not very affluent. He's in a environment where he's got like a broken window and stuff. His kid's waking him up on a morning. He's like pouring alcohol into his drink stuff, and then it cuts this lovely shot, this is lovely reveal through the window where his police car's outside.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't know that. That brings a whole new light to that because you start to build up. You see he's got a kid. You empathise, but you feel for this guy.
Yep.
And then at the end scene,
and then that really sort of like touching end moment where it cuts back to the kid in his bedroom. And he's not lying on the bed, and he goes to the football match, and it's just him and his mum.
Yeah.
And then obviously,
they hear that shooting, and they stop.
And again, it just hammers home this idea of, was it all worth it? What were we actually working towards?
I'm sure it's said in the film as well. she's saying, "Oh, I should get him down." You cut one of them down, another, like, the Hydra. If you cut one head off, another will take its place.
Yeah.
Which is just, in the end, it's just terrorism, it's the cartels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of it why it makes it so, like, suspenseful for me. It's just like all this fucking effort and pressure and all this just for, like, little to no avail. Like, Del Toro, like, Alejandro got his revenge. Brolin's still the puppeteer.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt's fucked now. Like, what's she's called? I forget the actual character's name.
Kate.
Thank you very much. It's raged.
Would you recommend, if someone's like, hey, I've never seen any Denis Villeneuve film before, would you recommend they start with Sicario?
No, actually, I'd say Prisoners.
Okay. Why Prisoners?
Why Prisoners? Very good film because it does many things that this does, many things that Arrival does. I think Arrival's good and should come after this because the music and sound in this film has obviously paved the way for Arrival, and how, like, Villeneuve, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Villeneuve,
how he's, like, incorporated all those elements, he's put them into Arrival. You kind of need to see that evolution of his work. With Prisoners, you see the evolution of suspense and almost thriller, and the way in the actors lead the way. And I just think it's a really good introductory film for him. And then obviously you see Sicario where it builds up, and then you see different elements of Arrival where it builds up, and then you got Blade Runner, which in itself is completely different to the previous three. He's
working very, very fast, and I'm really excited to see what he does next as well. He's just churning films out at the moment. Very impressive. So anyway, that was Sicario. You can let us know in the comments below what you thought of Sicario, or you can hit us up on Twitter, as always. Andy, can you remember what film we discussed doing last week?
We were going to do another one with his.
Sure.
Yeah, because I thought the idea was we're going to do Prisoners. Hence why I thought that was.
I wasn't sure if it was going to be Prisoners.
Yeah, Prisoners, because I was thinking about Arrival of Prisoners, but I think Prisoner fills in the aesthetic more, and we just mentioned about it's probably best to start off with. And I remember thinking it's weird because we do Sicario, which is technically is like the one after, but Prisoners is fantastic. I want to watch it again. We
wanted to make sure that if anybody has been following along with us and wants to see Sicario 2 when that comes out soon, even though it's not directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Otherwise, we've done Prisoners first. Well, yeah, let's do Prisoners because I really want to fucking watch it again.
So,
I really want to watch it.
If you want to be part of the club, get watching Prisoners, and we'll see you back here next week for another episode of Film Club.
England 2-0 Tunisia. You heard it from me first.